Okay, so when you think about how an NHL team gets started, you're probably picturing, I don't know, frozen ponds, old school hockey towns, right? Well, forget all of that. The origin story for this team starts on a Hollywood soundstage with a kids' movie. Yeah, you heard me right. Today, we're unpacking the absolutely unbelievable journey of the Anaheim Ducks.
I mean, it sounds like the setup to a joke, doesn't it? How does a movie about a ragtag group of kids become a real professional hockey team? It seems impossible. But that is the very real story of the Anaheim Ducks. And the answer? Well, it turns out it's all about perfect timing and, a little bit of that Disney magic.
So here's how it all went down. The answer, in a word, is synergy. Back in 1993, Disney was riding high on the massive success of their film The Mighty Ducks. They saw this huge opportunity. So what they do? They dropped a cool $50 million on an NHL expansion fee. And just like that, in a move that absolutely screams the 90s, a movie franchise was instantly turned into a professional hockey franchise. It's just wild.
And so, the puck dropped on one of the most unusual experiments in sports history. This was a true Hollywood hockey story playing out in real time on the ice. And look, they didn't just acknowledge their movie roots, they leaned right into them. They were the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, and that iconic logo, it instantly became a pop culture phenomenon. On the ice, they were actually surprisingly good. They built the team around a young superstar, Paul Kariya, and get this, they shocked the league by setting a new record for wins by an expansion team. But off the ice, that's where things got really crazy. That Hollywood buzz translated into a merchandise empire. Their gear became the top seller in the entire NHL, which was a huge deal because it proved that hockey could really thrive in non-traditional Sunbelt markets. But hey, selling jerseys is one thing. Winning championships is another. If the Ducks were going to be taken seriously, they needed more firepower. And that set the stage for their next move, creating one of the most electric offensive duos of the entire decade. So in 1996, the Ducks acquired the superstar Teemu Selänne, also known as the Finnish Flash. The impact was immediate. As their teammate Steve Rutschin put it, now that we have Teemu, there's no way everybody can just key on Paul. You see, Kariya was no longer a one-man show. Opponents suddenly had to deal with two elite, game-breaking threats every single shift. And the results on the ice were immediate. With Kariya and Selänne leading the charge, the Mighty Ducks made their first ever Stanley Cup playoff appearance in 1997. The team that started as a movie gimmick was now officially a legitimate threat. Of course, every great story has its moments of conflict and challenge. For the Ducks, that moment came in a dramatic playoff run that ended in total heartbreak and led to a complete reinvention of the team's entire identity. Okay, picture this. It's 2003. The Mighty Ducks are a 7th seed, a huge underdog, but they go on this stunning Cinderella run all the way to the Stanley Cup final. The series against the Devils was an absolute war, defined by an unforgettable moment in Game 6. Captain Paul Kariya gets leveled by a brutal hit and is knocked unconscious. Incredibly, he returns to the game and unleashes a blistering slap shot for a goal. It's straight out of a movie script, but even that heroic moment wasn't enough, as their dream season ended in a heartbreaking loss in Game 7. But the team's incredible run didn't go unrecognized. Their goaltender, Jean-Sébastien Giguère, was just a brick wall the entire playoffs. He was so good that he was awarded the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP. Now, you gotta understand how rare this is. He became only the 5th player in NHL history to win the award from the losing team. That's a true testament to just how dominant he was. That crushing loss in the final really proved to be the end of an era. Shortly after, Disney sold the team to new owners, Henry and Susan Samueli, and that triggered a complete franchise overhaul. The new ownership wanted a new, more serious identity, so they dropped the Mighty, becoming simply the Anaheim Ducks. The iconic eggplant and jade jerseys were retired, replaced with a modern, aggressive look of black, gold, and orange. This wasn't just a color swap, it was a statement. The team was officially stepping out of the shadow of its Hollywood past. So, with a new name and a new look came a new mission: to finish what they started back in 2003 and bring a championship to Anaheim. The new general manager, Brian Burke, immediately went to work, and it was a masterclass in team building. He fortified the defense by signing 2 future Hall of Fame defensemen, Scott Niedermayer and Chris Pronger. Huge. Then, in a move that electrified the fan base, he brought Teemu Selänne back home.
the pieces were in place, and the team came out flying, setting an NHL record by going undefeated in regulation for their first 16 games.
This all culminated on June 6, 2007. Just 4 years after their heartbreaking loss, the newly branded Anaheim Ducks finished the job, defeating the Ottawa Senators in 5 games to win their first ever Stanley Cup. And this wasn't just a win for the team, it was history. They became the first team from California to ever hoist the Stanley Cup, completing that incredible journey from a movie tie-in to the undisputed top of the hockey world. Winning the championship wasn't the end of the story, but really the beginning of a new era of sustained success for the franchise.
After the championship, a new core emerged, led by longtime captain Ryan Getzlaf and Hart Trophy winner Corey Perry, who was crowned the league's MVP in 2011. This duo turned the Ducks into a perennial powerhouse, dominating the Pacific by winning an incredible 5 straight division titles between 2013 and 2017. The retirement of captain Ryan Getzlaf in 2022 finally closed the book on that golden era, opening the door for the team's next chapter.
What a ride! From a Disney movie gimmick to Stanley Cup champions and a perennial contender, the Ducks' journey is unlike any other in sports. It leaves us with one final, intriguing question. What does the next chapter hold for this one-of-a-kind franchise?